A fast serve is a very useful tool that allows us to start the game in an aggressive and unpredictable way. However, its execution is not just about hitting the ball with power. To perform a truly effective fast serve, it is essential to understand and apply different factors that influence its speed, trajectory, and spin. In this video we will explore the key elements for executing a fast and effective serve. Effectiveness of a fast serve is largely determined by its ability to surprise the opponent with a ball that moves at high speed, leaving them very little time to react. The faster the ball travels, the less time the opponent has to respond and the more effective the serve becomes. However, in addition to speed, there are other important aspects to consider if we want to maximize the effectiveness of a fast serve. One of them is the trajectory of the ball. If the ball follows a more vertical trajectory, it will have to travel a greater distance before reaching the opponent, but if we give the ball a lower and more horizontal trajectory, we will reduce its path and it will take less time to reach the opponent, increasing the speed and effectiveness of the serve. To achieve a more horizontal trajectory, we should hit the ball close to the surface of the table, applying force in the right direction so that the ball rises just enough to pass over the net. In addition to the height of the trajectory, it is also important to optimize its length to ensure the serve is as fast as possible without the ball going off the table. The faster the serve, the greater the distance between its first and second bounce. That is why it is essential to position these two bounces correctly, allowing the ball to make full use of the table's surface without crossing its boundaries. The optimal placement is for the first bounce to be as close as possible to the end line on your side of the table, and the second bounce as close as possible to the opponent's endline. We can also aim for the corners of the table to further increase the distance between the two bounce zones and execute an even faster serve. However, it is important to consider that depending on the situation, a parallel serve or one aimed at the opponent's elbow might be slower but more effective. Another important aspect is the type of contact and the spin we apply to the ball. Although a fast serve can be executed with any type of spin, if we want it to be as fast as possible, the best option is to use topspin. On one hand, the topspin will accelerate the ball upon contact with the table, making it continue moving faster after the bounce. On the other hand, it will make the ball drop more quickly in the air, causing it to bounce earlier and allowing us to execute a faster serve without the ball going off the table. In any case, it's important to consider that other types of spin, such as side spin or side topspin, can be just as or even more effective, depending on the opponent and the situation. Besides speed, trajectory, and the spin we apply to the ball, another crucial aspect we cannot overlook is the stroke technique. Developing good technique is essential for achieving proper control, precision, and power, which will allow us to send the ball with the correct trajectory, giving it the right speed and spin. Regardless of whether it is a backhand, forehand, or reverse serve, you must execute proper technique with stable and coordinated movements to ensure the ball is delivered as intended. In this video, we won't discuss any specific technique for the fast serve, but we will focus on a key technical element that many players often ignore. The time we give our opponent to react doesn't start when we hit the ball but much earlier. Their brain processes and analyzes our posture, the movement of our racket, and various cues that allow them to anticipate and recognize that it's a fast serve even before we make contact with the ball. Since the time we give the opponent to react is a crucial factor in a fast serve, it is essential to disguise our movements and use a technique that does not reveal the type of serve until the last moment. To achieve this, it can be helpful, for example, to prepare and start the serve as if you were going to send a short ball, and at the last moment, accelerate the motion to add more speed and depth to the ball.